Ever heard the saying that we only use 10% of our brain? It's a popular one, but how true is it really? This myth, often attributed to the likes of Albert Einstein, suggests that we're only tapping into a fraction of our mental potential. Quite a tantalizing thought, isn't it? But let's take a closer look. Scientific evidence paints a different picture. Thanks to advanced neuroimaging technology such as functional magnetic resonance imaging or fMRI, scientists have been able to observe the human brain in action. And guess what? There's no part of the brain that just sits idle. Instead, even during rest, our brains are buzzing with activity across all areas. The notion that we use only 10% of our brain is a gross underestimation of the complexity and capability of our amazing gray matter. The brain is a ceaseless symphony of thoughts, emotions, and commands playing out across its entire structure. So the next time someone tells you we only use 10% of our brain, you can confidently tell them that's not the case. Scene script. Have you ever been told that shaving makes your hair grow back thicker, darker, or faster? Truth or fiction? Let's dive right into it. This myth has been around for quite some time, but the truth is, shaving does not affect the color, thickness, or speed of hair growth. Hair grows from follicles beneath the skin, and shaving merely trims the hair at skin level. It does not influence the follicle or the hair's natural growth cycle. So why might people perceive their hair as darker or thicker after shaving? Well, when you shave, you're cutting the hair at its widest point, which can make the stubble appear darker and feel coarser. But rest assured, the actual rate of growth and the color of your hair are determined by genetic factors and hormones, not by your razor. So the next time you reach for your razor, remember, shaving your hair doesn't change how it grows back, it's just a perception. Remember those tongue maps from school showing different areas for sweet, salty, bitter, and sour? What if we told you they're not entirely accurate? It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the early 20th century when German scientist D.P. Honig conducted a taste experiment. His results were misinterpreted and gave birth to the tongue map myth. This misconception has been passed down through generations, sticking to our textbooks like a stubborn piece of gum. However, modern science tells us a different story. Recent research has proven that all tastes can be detected anywhere there are taste receptors on the tongue. That's right, your tongue is not a jigsaw puzzle of tastes, but rather a versatile taste detective, able to pick up on sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and even umami, the elusive, savory taste from any location. So it seems our entire tongue is a taste adventure, not just certain parts. What about the creepy crawly myth that we swallow a number of spiders in our sleep throughout our lives? Ready to get the facts? Let's unravel this eight-legged tale. First off, it's important to know that spiders aren't exactly thrill seekers. They tend to avoid areas with vibrations and noise, like a snoring human, for instance. They're more interested in catching a juicy fly than exploring the cavernous mouth of a giant. This myth, as it turns out, is a perfect example of how misinformation can spread like wildfire. It was originally circulated as an experiment by a columnist named Lisa Holst in 1993 to prove how gullible the internet could be. And boy, did she hit the nail on the head. So next time you shudder at the thought of swallowing a spider in your sleep, remember, the odds are stacked in your favor. They're just as scared of you as you are of them. So rest easy, you're not a spider's midnight snack. So, how many of these myths did you believe before today? Quite a few, I bet. Let's recap. Remember the old wives' tale that we only use 10% of our brains? Well, that's been thoroughly debunked. Neuroscientists have shown that we use virtually every part of our brain, and most of it is active almost all the time. Then there's the myth that shaving hair makes it grow back thicker, darker, or faster. Nope, not true. The hair's color, location, thickness, and speed of growth are all determined by genetics, not by a razor. What about the tongue map myth? All busted. Our taste receptors are distributed all over the tongue, not just in specific areas. And finally, the creepy crawly myth that we swallow spiders in our sleep? Rest easy. Spiders have no interest in exploring human mouths. Remember, it's always good to question what you hear and find out the truth for yourself. Stay curious and keep learning.